Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Zinester Talk, episode 5. This is a part of the Sila Circle Writers Festival. One of them cannot make it tonight, so we have tonight with us Abigail Lim, Kanchana Sirikit, and unfortunately, the one who cannot make it tonight, at least not right now, is Effa Kamariani. And if all three of you are ready, I guess you can go ahead and start this session.
Okay. Good evening, guys. How are you doing before we begin?
Doing good.
Yeah, everything's good.
So I think me and Kanchana haven't seen each other in quite a while. So
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a mini reunion for the both of you.
yeah.
Sort of.
That's good. Okay. So I think before we can go to the zines, maybe let's try to. You can introduce yourselves first, so you can set the scene for what you want to talk about.
Okay. Would you like to go first, Maui?
All right, sure.
Okay. All right. Where do I begin? So usually people just call me Maui, even though I have a long name on the zine. I write about a lot of things, but right now my focus is on plant medicine and uh, the path to healing, as well as energy healing like Reiki. So I've been focusing on that. And what else? I'm working on my thesis right now. It's actually the poems are part of the thesis that I'm working on right now. So the zine is just a preview of what I'm working on right now. So yeah. Uh,
Oh,
what
okay.
you
So
guys?
that's cool.
Interesting.
Sorry,
Abby,
what do you study again? Out of curiosity. Oh, I have your
Uh,
Zoom right here. Creative writing. Okay, I
yeah,
see.
creative writing.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, it's so fun to have a thesis that's like just a compilation of your works.
Yes, thank you.
So I am Abigail, um, from Malaysia. Um, I am an engineer by profession. So I didn't get to have a thesis about my poetry works. I had to do a boring thing. uh, it was very terrible. But poetry wise, I started writing since high school, and Kanchana and I are actually spoken word poets as well. So we do perform here and there around Kuala Lumpur. Um, and then this zine, the collections here are just a mix of really early work and also stuff I've written pretty recently. So it's just like a little collection. Yeah. Okay, Kanchana, passing it to you.
I'd just like to correct Abigail. She does not do any boring poetry stuff. Okay, she won a poetry slam back in 2022. Yeah. By the way, hi. I'm Kanchana Sirikit. I work in a credit card company. As for poetry, I'm just beginning. And yeah, like Abby mentioned, I'm also a spoken word poetry poet. Um, our zine also compiles of my work from when I started to perform up to the last performance that I've done. So yeah.
Oh, amazing spoken word poet. Um, I actually have to agree with you, Kanchana, because I read the poems of Well, I read your zine and wow, I was blown away with all your work. So I wouldn't say, Abigail, that you're into boring stuff. I really think that you guys are into very interesting stuff, and it takes a lot of courage to write about what you write. So yeah,
Mm.
I want to know, why did you write the zine?
Sorry. Could you like when you speak and the mic is not near? I can't really hear. Sorry. Could you just repeat that last?
Sorry. Okay. How about this? Is
Thank
this
you.
okay?
Like this. This is perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Why did you guys write the zine? Why did you make the zine?
Um, Kansha, do you want to answer or can I
Yeah,
go?
sure. We just actually wanted to embark into this poetry world, so we thought it would be best if we do it together. It's more meaningful actually,
Mm.
because the story of how we named our zine, Kecho Poet Club. Kecho basically means chaos, chaotic.
Like very loud because we are all individually like loud and then to friend group as well. So that also contributed. It's a WhatsApp name. It's the name of a WhatsApp group that
Oh.
we are in. So we are like, okay, let's do this side. What shall we name it? Oh, just take the WhatsApp group name.
Yeah, it's kind of like our support therapy group as well.
Yeah. Also, if you notice, like our section headers are just different synonyms of the word chaos that we chose and each one of us liked. So
It's an interesting theme that you guys chose. I like how actually the collection or the zine is cohesive when I read it. And now when you're telling me that it's about chaos. Wow, okay, that's a good way to theme it. So I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
um
Well, on my end, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
well, just to add, because the way I know us as friends and the way we perform, I feel like we're all very we have add to the quote unquote chaos element. But I suppose when we were also compiling that, we understood that that was kind of a flow from what I was trying to talk about and what F I was trying to talk about and what Kanchana ended with lah. So I guess that last flow was a bit more it appeared more cohesive for like a reader as opposed to like the general chaos and difference of between everyone's writing. So that's interesting. That's an interesting observation. Thank you, Maui.
Yeah, and I think that's also good because you guys have your own concept of chaos. And hello, am I heard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
You are.
Okay. SEA problems. Okay. Uh, right. So I was saying, it's interesting that you guys have, uh, well, you shown in the zine that you made is that you have your own definition of chaos, and at the same time, when you put it together collectively, um, it has its own definition or energy as your what do you call this? As your club, yeah, or something like that. So that's really great. Um, if you guys want to go into distinctive writing styles, we can talk about that.
Hmm. Do you want to start with yourself, Maui? Because you are the one who has received formal training too. Because I feel like it's very different from someone who has been like we do it like as a hobby versus someone who has received like formal training
Yeah.
in creative writing, right? And it comes
Mhm.
off in your Zine as well. Like everything seems so polished is the impression that I get like reading your work.
Okay. Uh, I don't know what to say. Because I've been someone, well, I've been trying to master what they call the basics, but then I've been trying to break it in in my poems. But I guess it shows, as you mentioned. Well, I in God's love, I chose the title of the zine from that poem because I wrote it when my mind was in disarray or chaos. So the writing style for me would still be when you read it, I wanted it to be organized, but at the same time I was thinking of different scenarios, different images that I can put together, but at the same time it's still not on the same plane. So that's what I did first for How God's Love, and that was the concept I was thinking of. And the line cuts that I did uh, was not totally deliberate. I just intuitively thought, oh, okay, this would look good, and then I just followed what I feel like um, the poem wanted to do. So that's how I came about with that poem title and finished it. I was really proud of it, and I never thought that it would be in a zine. I've never thought it would be released in a zine and at the same time published in voice and verse. It's in the upcoming issue. I think issue 72. So I was really surprised because it's been a year since I last wrote it. And yeah, I'm so thankful that it's actually a poem that's what do you call this? It's actually a poem that's having its own life now. So yeah, Reiki poem later, which is every day. I would like you guys to share yours because um, writing as a hobby is really something that I'm also interested in. Instead of getting pressured by what do you call this, by studies, uh, I think I went into MA because I wanted to have a discipline, but now I want to purely enjoy it now.
What did you do for a degree before your master's? Of curiosity.
I went into Asian studies, so I it's kind of what it's far from it's far from my MA in creative writing. So I went from social science to
Okay.
humanities. So that's what happened to me.
Okay. Sorry, what was your social science degree? I didn't quite catch that.
Asian studies, but it's in social
Okay.
science.
Okay, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would
Yes,
also want to
Steph.
try taking an
Yeah.
MA in creative writing. That's very cool.
Yeah, go ahead. If it calls out to you, I really recommend.
Okay, thank you. Also, I really do love your poem for God's what how God's love. Yeah, I read it and it had everything that I also like reading about. Like I read about I like Greek mythology and like all those Roman with like deities, right? I like that. And then you the past lives thing as well. Oh, I love stuff like that too. And it's written so it's such a pretty poem to read. And like even your line breaks, I think, wow, makes a lot of sense and it's so very nice to read through. So yeah, you should be proud of that poem. Like I was like, oh man, I wish I could write like this also. But yeah. um Kanchana, do you want to talk about a poem that you have written? And then I'll go last.
Sure. But yeah, first of all, Molly, I love that poem that you wrote. I love the way you talk about nature and reincarnation. I just don't know how you amalgamate all of those. The idea behind it is just so wonderful. Um, yeah, I wish to be able to write like that someday. Um, the poem that I would like to talk about, I think that would be Fingers. If you notice, it's a little bit close to write that. The idea behind it was, I feel like most of us females would have gone through insecurities, um, being meeting males who are narcissists, And so it has already like deprived ourselves. So that was me basically stepping into a journey of loving myself, loving my femininity, and hence why I wrote that. It gave me a lot of power as it was my favorite piece among all of my poems in the zine. What about you, Abigail?
Thank you, Kanchana. Um, my favorite poem from the ones that I don't know. I can't really choose one
Mine is
because
great. And the one that you wrote about Eve, oh, I love it. I love it how you wrote
uh
about
yeah, that one.
deep
Like
down he's just
I
insecure
got
like that.
that tattoo. I got that tattoo. The
Oh,
one that was like there's a line in okay, so it goes. Should I just read the poem? Yeah, I should just read the poem because everyone likes this poem. I like it too. So this is after the fall. I like to think that Eve carved Adam's rib from her chest, to be freed of any remnants of him, filled it with flowers instead, white lilies and marigolds, because despite everything she is still meant to be pure. I think she stays up at night, trying to find a way back to Eden, looking up at the constellations, locating the ones that burned after with scars like a map on her back, but Andromeda and her stars were too far away. So you settled. Worked hard to turn this house into a home and make art out of sorrow. Sometimes he fixates on her reflection in rivers and pools. It never used to bother her as much back in Eden, but now she wonders if her thighs are too thick or maybe her waist could be a little slimmer. But the truth is, Eve has always been as beautiful as the day God made her. The only mistake was falling for that damn snake, but haven't we all fallen for someone else's promise of salvation? Are we not all daughters of Eve? Stars amid city lights, letting our atoms trace the hollowed out sections of our rib cages. I feel their fingers graze the new scars and stretch marks that are forming the rest of the map that will bring us both back to Eden. So I think this poem is the most similar to Kanchana's in terms of self love and trying to escape disgusting men. But yeah, and I really liked this poem, and I was so obsessed with it that I got this line, filled it with flowers instead of white lilies and marigold. Like I have a tattoo of white lilies and also marigold, like here. Uh, yeah. This poem I wrote for an International Women's Day performance. So that's why I like to play around with the idea of how the original Adam and Eve would have been. Um, yeah,
It's
so that.
amazing. Oh yeah. Wait, I have some questions. Can I ask questions about the poem?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm really interested in how you uh put the Catholic images or the yeah, actually I read all of the poems in the scene, and
um,
then I was really blown away about how you made them harmonize with each other. So I want to know, how do you do that?
are you asking about just Eden? Because Eden is the most Catholic thing here, after the fall as well.
Yeah. I think both of the poems. If it's okay with you to discuss.
No, it's okay. I just like reading through. Oh, this okay. So the story behind Eden is oh yeah. So I wrote this during the pandemic. And it was a time where can we? I mean, for Malaysia, we couldn't go to church, and then it was all online mass for like such a long amount of time, right? um so I don't know, I guess I just felt, because the whole world had halted, and also I felt like my faith life had halted, and I was in university at that time, and I was very active in the Catholic Student Society. uh so it just felt like I got cut off from all my friends in CSS. I just felt very alone, and I and like I don't know, I guess I was also reflecting on people closest to me or something like that. And I've always loved my best friend, Mary, and she's always been like so close to me. So I don't know, I just felt lost. And like this was the thing that came out of it, feeling lost and like having an anchor point um that I can go to, and that anchor point has always been my best friend Mary. So yeah, this is and like I guess Catholic imagery. I don't know. I feel like the way I write, I like to I like to make things that are normal. I like to take things that are normal and like make them pretty. Um, so that's the way I try to work on my imagery. And because this is going to be a poem about God, then all the Catholic imagery that follows. Yeah, that was how this poem came to be.
Thank you. That's
Mhm.
great. Thank you. Thank you for writing it.
Welcome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that you've enjoyed this poem.
Yeah.
Are you also Catholic, by the way, Maui?
Yes,
Also
on paper, but I'm
on
not
paper. Wow.
practicing religiously. Yeah. I think spirituality is already a different thing for me. So, yeah.
Mm.
But it's still something I go back to sometimes when it comes to faith. Because that's
Mm.
where I started. Okay, I noticed it's also similar to the poems that Kanchana wrote. And I don't know also what to say with the daring and boldness of her writing style. Can you talk about that?
I'm sorry,
We
Maui. I can't really hear her.
the last bit
Oh
of
wait, oh okay. I noticed there. Okay, am I heard now?
yes, you are
Just
right
to be
now.
sure. Okay. There we go. So, I noticed there's a lot of daring and courage when it comes to the poems that Kanchana writes, and uh, how how do you have that distinctive writing style? Like it's you, and it's really beautiful. So, can you write about your process, or can you talk about your process if you want to share anything related to it?
Thank you for the compliment. Um, I guess it's most of the part is just about um me coming out of my trauma, and as along the process of like coming out of my trauma, I met many women who have also dealt with the same thing. So I just thought it would be nice to empower these women as well as myself. And it really saddens me that this women full of potential, they are like so insecure, so self-deprived just because of people who have caused them such big pain. So I just thought it would be nice if I could, in a way, just inspire them to love themselves a little bit more, embrace their feminine side, and step out of your comfort zone.
Thank you. That feels so. Because as women, we have our own struggles, and when I read your part of the zine, so uh, since you guys told me that it's about chaos, when I read that part of this, I was like, wow, it's so forward, but at the same time, powerful
Sorry,
when it
Molly.
comes
I,
to yeah.
I can really hear you.
Okay. Oh wait, I'll try it again. Hello. I don't know if it's my mic or if it's the connection. Yeah. Okay. Right. So as I was saying, when I read that part of the cuisine, um, it's not it's great how you encapsulated the experience. And I like how you also centered the other poems. Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in it when I read it. So wow. And now I know that the meaning of you have your own meaning of chaos, but at the same time, you empower your readers. That's amazing. So that's also beautiful. I feel like I might go back to the zine later or tomorrow to read it again because it has a new meaning now for me since you guys shared it. Uh,
Thank you.
so amazing. Thank you. Thank you for writing all of those poems. It's really great.
Thank you for reading.
Um, and
Thank you for sharing your work as well.
anytime as long as I can. Okay. Um. Okay. I would like to know. Why did you choose the particular poems? So, or how did you choose them? Maybe that's a better question.
Uh, Kashna, how do you choose them?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Couldn't hear
How
you.
did you choose the poems that you chose to put into the design?
Yeah.
You mean among all my writing, why did I choose those poems?
Mm,
Mm, I guess it screams out chaos in the way that how I wanted it to be. Mm, where it's like I'm very loud, very messed up in a way before, and you can
mm,
see like I'm transitioning into something better. Still chaotic, but like um in a different wavelength of chaos. How about you, Abigail?
Uh, I feel like mine is more just like it's really a journey through my writing. So for example, Redshift was like very early. I think it's not super early lah, but Redshift was the earliest poem that I wrote amongst all of this. Um, they all have the first few poems happened like way before the pandemic. And Bulan is moon in Malay, and as poets, of course, we need to have a poem about the moon. It is in our blood. But yeah, I think, and I don't know. I feel like I wanted it to be a mix of what I felt were my best poems, and also poems that were suitable to be like as a page poem. That was how I kind of decided it. Yeah. Uh, yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. I can relate with the part of um thinking about the writing journey. I think I had the same struggle when I was thinking about releasing How God's Love. Like I wasn't
Mhm.
ready at first to share most of the poems there because they're still close to me. So it took me time um to willingly come to terms that it has to go out. So I said all of these poems deserve to be read by people, and I think what matters is I'm at this part of my journey now as a writer, and I would like to put it out there. So it came to that point. Uh, I was even thinking of releasing old work, but then I realized um, I would like to have my new voice, or I like to show where I am now. So as a writer, so that's how I chose them, and that's also the reason why I chose them.
Mm.
For yeah,
How long
okay.
have you been in your MFA program? Out of curiosity, since these have all
Um.
been what?
Okay. I think. Wait. Let me remember. I enrolled. I think in 2018. So it's been
Oh,
long. Yeah.
okay,
I took my time because I'm also
okay,
working.
okay. Oh, right, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So I took my time, and now I'm appreciating it. Before I wanted uh to be done and over with it, but then I realized now slow and steady is really great. So it's okay. Yeah.
I do really like your box poem as well.
Mm.
It when you read it sounds like when you do free writing, right, and then you just let your thoughts flow. So it really it was reminiscent of that lah. And then I like how it ended because of course every single
Yeah.
Southeast Asian poet is going to talk about their failing government. So that was nice to add into.
Yes. But that was what do you call this? I remember during the pandemic, I walked a long way and I was trying to adjust my breath because I already felt like I was heaving. So I wanted to put that into the poem. That's why it's very long and you don't know where to pause to simulate that feeling. Yeah. There were no tricycles, there were no modes of transportation during that time. And in my mind, I was like, I just need to buy these items because I need to survive for the day or for the next week. And I walked. So I walked so long and I said, it's okay, it's worth it. Yeah, and that's what happened to me during the pandemic. Like, oh my gosh, what's the government doing? But yeah, uh, the box poem was whoa. When I finished it, I was like, whoa, I wrote this and I never knew that I had these feelings in me that needed to be written out. So you do have what do you call this? You do have or you see that part where um it's a stream of consciousness thing, but at the same time,
Yes.
stream of emotions as well. So, yeah. Thanks for pointing that out by the way.
Awesome. Yeah, I really liked this poem. Between the three of us, Effa is the one who is always who will critique the government um in our country. So yeah, she is the one who will come up with all our anti-patriotic poems.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other poems that you guys would like to talk about from your zine?
Kanchana?
Um, I think the one I'd like to talk about would be To My Next and Hopefully Last Man.
Yes.
Um,
I was hoping you brought that up. Okay, I will mute myself now.
yeah, because like I felt like most of my poems are very much like me manifesting the kind of life, the kind of personality I want to be, I want to have. And when I look back to this poem and I remember the moments of writing it, I was just like hoping that finally all this pain and suffering would end and the guy that I dream of would come, and eventually he did. And he loved me even way better than how I wrote in my poem. So I really love it. Um yeah, I've always wanted to have someone to realize like um how empty they feel about when I'm not around. That's the kind of love that I wanted. And yeah, I got it. What about you, Abigail?
Not really on my end. I think we have covered it. I was glad that we could touch on Eden because I really do love that one. But yeah, I am good. Maui, I think you mentioned that you wanted to talk about your Reiki poem.
Yeah, every day. The version that I have in the zine right now is a short version. Wait, let me try to read it. Since it's just a short part. Oh, where is it? Okay, I don't have it right now.
Okay.
Which one was
um,
it? What is
yeah,
the
every
title?
day. Uh, yeah, every day is the title. So about it, it's about the Reiki precepts, or rather, it's based on the Reiki precepts. And as a practitioner, I have to meditate on it all the time, every day. So that's why I call the poem every day. Like when you sit at the beginning of your meditation, you have to think about like, wait, let me recall. Just for today, I will not get angry. I will be, or I am grateful. There are different precepts when you read it. I I still need the precepts to be written down because sometimes I forget, and that's why I wrote the poem. So what does the Reiki precepts look to me when I expand it into a poem? So every day when I sit, there's always the light, and I let go of the feelings that's been haunting me, or I accept what has happened to me, and I move forward to see how can I integrate this at the present moment so I can have a better future. So in the poem, I'm talking about uh the days giving and receiving. So it's another day of giving and receiving. It's another day of releasing. It's another day of making and of course undoing. And yeah, um, it's a big poem. Right now, I've already expanded it. I included my struggles at work. Then I also included my inner child. The current version now. So it's still hidden away, but the version in the zine is the one that's straight to the point. So
Mm.
I I dream of a world where people actually pause to sit at parks, where they don't tell you, oh, I have to work, or everything's about work, but rather they would spend their time reading, and they would spend their time with nature. Like they would enjoy or actually pause and sit to relish the feeling of existing. Because I experience it, and I also want others to experience that feeling without them being anxious all the time, or being sad because of something happened. So it's more on a poem that also reminds them to exist is also beautiful, and you are enough. So yeah,
It's
that's
very
how can
beautiful.
that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Um, thank you. Thank you for listening. Also, yeah.
I would like to
Um,
read your third version one day.
when it's released, I'll send it to you guys, or I can actually send it, but we'll see.
It's okay on your own time when you feel like you want other
Thank
people to
you.
read.
Okay, okay, that's great.
You know,
All right.
that
So what's next?
those two pictures in
Yeah.
your Zine after
Oh
How
yeah.
Dogs. Yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness. Y'all long exposed that. You took the pictures, right? And then you just did like long
Yep.
exposure. Oh, so good.
Actually, that's
Is that
that's
May?
just how do I call this? Wait. How did my I'm trying to recall how my partner got the shot. Told me to stand there, and then he did something with the camera. It's not long exposure. But it does look like long exposure.
Yeah.
But he
Oh
just did
wait.
something with the phone. We were using a phone camera, and then suddenly he
Oh,
got that
okay.
shot. Yeah. And he taught me, okay, just do this and take my picture. So I took his picture and he took mine. So when I saw that, wow, these are two great shots, and we have to add it to the zine. So, yep, I think
Mm.
that also tied in with the poem for some reason. Like
Yeah, it really
it
does.
just happened. Yeah. So yes, thank you
Giving
for bringing that up also.
it really gives K drama vibes because all the K dramas I
Mhm.
watch have some kind of relation to past lives. So
Amazing. I love the
I also
connection.
really like your ether poem, by the way. I feel like it's
Yeah.
also very similar imagery there. And then I like the little lines at the end of each stanza, like, what is it on earth you keep coming back to? And then, oh, why are you going? Yeah, I really liked this one as well. Your ether poem.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, same. Oh, okay. I guess I have
Okay.
a question for
Yeah.
Kanchana. Um, because like just now, Maui said something along the lines of she doesn't feel super ready for her poems to be read by other people yet, and then she took her time, um, like getting there right, especially when but I know you. I mean, I know you after you escaped from the farm and your trauma and stuff like that. And like you're so very open with poetry, and yeah, it's explicit, but it's also very like you don't like shy away from all of that. So it's like super different kinds of perspectives when it comes to like writing slash performing. So I guess my question to you is like, have you felt any reservation from people reading, or like have you ever like how do you to that get to have that confidence when performing like your more explicit pieces, for example?
Maybe because I felt very repressed of my voice. So I just wanna come out of the cocoon and tell people my story. So I feel like it's such an inspiration to come out of um that those years of periods of being groomed and abused labelly and sexually.
Mm.
I just have that feeling of like it's a wonderful story to tell people. Um Maybe in a way, it will also find people who needs them. That's just the main reason why I want to put it out there. That's how I gathered all the confidence that I have to make my words go out there. That's about it. That intention of wanting to help people in a way, even if it's just a tiny thing. I just want to make people feel safe in their own voice. Only then
Mm.
they will have the ability, the comfort to step out and tell others their problem and seek help.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Kanchana. We're proud of you and your progress
Oh, thank
so
you.
far.
Proud of myself too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so brave and strong. Oh, I think Steph has a question.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. But what is mainstream? I suppose that is a question for Stephanie. Patriarchal stuff. Would you like to take this, Maui? Because I feel like your poems are not as mainstream as mine.
Oh, okay. Well, interesting question. I don't know what to say. Um, I don't think. Well, at first, it's not courage for me. It's more like, what do I want? If I was my inner child, or if I was that person who needed to read a certain poem, what is that poem? So I think that happened to me, and that's why I wrote differently now. I was very direct with my trauma, and was all, what do you call this? It was circulating there, and then I realized, if I was Maui from the past, would I want to read this? And I would read it, but then what's next? I realized, I wanted to break out of that cycle. So when I found myself reading different poetry books, reading different authors, I realized I needed to write poems that I would be happy that I read, or I would be happy that I read, or when people are, what do you call this, have a different view. It's it's kind of difficult to say, because in the Philippines, uh when I was starting with poetry, people were, um in the trend of hugot, or what we call, there's there's no term, or I can't find the English term for hugot. So usually, it's Barry Billings that they say in open mic, or they that's my take. I'm so sorry if I if I butchered that. So anyway, when I was starting out as a poet, I realized I want to write different things. I want to write about different things. I can't. I found myself not writing about heartbreak, but more on, surviving. So I guess that's where I found it. If that's courage, but it's more on, what would I say to myself, or what would I want to read if I was here, if I was struggling, or if I was small. What would I say to that Maui, that version of that person? So I write, I write for those who struggle, because I didn't have that when I was struggling. So that's for now. Yeah.
I think I can relate to writing to comfort myself as well. um, to Stephanie's question, I don't know if it's mainstream or not, but uh, I mean, I feel like a lot of my more Catholic poems, I write them and then I perform. If I do perform them, then I perform them because it makes me feel better, and I know it will be a good performance for the audience. No, wait, no, I don't know that. But if it does turn out to be a good performance for the audience and I get good feedback, then it makes me feel so. But for the most part, if I do share something not as mainstream, which is probably like more religious pieces that I have, especially since like Catholics are quite a minority in Malaysia. That is really just to make myself feel better. um, and like for example, I have another poem. I think it is Icarus. I wrote this because I did not get accepted into a job. So this whole thing happened because I was so very depressed. And it was a job to join like this super really cool aviation company that I was really looking forward to, and like I spent the longest time prepping for. And when I found out that they officially declined me, I was sad for weeks. Uh, and then this was like the result of this poem. So yes, bad things happen, but hey, at least you get a good poem out of the traumatizing experience. uh, so yeah, thank you. I don't know what else to say next. So on, continue.
Okay, I think the next question would be, what's next for us? Or what's next for you? Do you have any um oh, okay. After my question, we'll go to Stephanie. So she's asking, how does spoken word influence your page poetry? I like this question. But my question would be, what's what's next for you guys? Like, do you have anything working under the sun, or are you planning to release another zine? Go ahead.
National Poetry Slam competition. And
Hey, are you
maybe
not joining too? Wait, I thought we were supposed to get you to join also. Sorry,
I
this is an internal discussion.
discussion, but maybe I would love to join as well. So maybe that's the next step for the both of us. After that, I don't know. I have no planned ideas yet, but maybe if everything turns out fine, then probably get a zine or a book published, like finally after so many years of planning that. What
Yeah,
about you,
Kanchana
Abby?
has mentioned ever since like last year, she's
Yeah.
been asking around like, "Oh, do you know any publishers? How do you get a book published?" I feel like I am also like a long term goal would definitely be to publish like a full collection of that'd be really good. But for now, I don't feel like I am there yet with like the quantity and the quantity of quality poems that I have enough to like fill a book. But that's where I am personally. And also yeah, just a slam coming up. Our Malaysian National Poetry Slam is hosted for everyone's information by MIDP, which is the Malaysian Institute of Debate and Public Speaking. That's actually where I met Kanchana and Effa, because it was through a curated spoken word performance where the CEO, Emilia Sharif, and Amy are also other close friend connected us. Every single occasion it comes up. Cannot run away.
I got very
um
agree with that.
yeah. uh so to Stephanie's question, how does spoken word influence your page poetry? I guess it it just looks like prose. It just looks like paragraphs. Like the Eden one, I think when I wrote it out, it made more sense as like a spoken word poem. But like when you see it on paper, it's just like paragraphs. Yeah, that's how I write my other stuff as well. Uh, because I feel like I can, to an extent, separate between page and spoken word. But sometimes I'm lazy, so I'll just use the page poem, elaborate it a bit, and then perform it. But that's usually how I do my stuff. So yeah, that's all from me. Chana?
What was the question again? I'm sorry, did you ask me a question?
How does spoken word influence your page poems? Because you do have quite a bit, like the
How does
one
it
about
affect
death.
my What? I'm sorry.
How does spoken word influence your page poetry? So the ones that you do not write to perform. I guess for you it'll be Last Exhale.
Oh yeah, you mean the pieces that I don't perform?
Yeah.
Um, I don't really perform. I think poetry that I don't think you've seen me performing much about my farm story poetry.
Mm,
Remember the one that um in Hush the Theater?
mm,
Yeah, I guess the reason why is I feel like there's so many unfinished stuffs going on. Um, yeah, there's just too many unfinished stuffs going on, and I'm just not ready to actually put it out. I'm
mm.
just slowly trying to fix wherever I can, and then maybe in the future I'll do it.
Okay. You catch. I think back to Maui, where we left off with you is what is next?
Thank you. That's interesting because I think there are a lot of things that are coming together for me. But I feel like the next one would be a book, but I still don't know when is the definite time. Let's just say I'm near to finishing it. It's my thesis, so I'm pretty excited about it. And I don't know when to speak about it, but there I'm sharing. I'm working on a book, and I'm happy to say that it's coming along pretty well. So hopefully, in the next few months, I will be able to announce or um, arrange whatever will happen. Yeah, uh, yeah, the thesis is paying off. Yes, that's true. So
Can't
that's what
wait
I'm
to
excited about. Yeah. So it'll be we'll just see. I'm just happy to share the good news that it's coming along pretty well.
Congratulations. Good job.
Thank you so much.
So out of
Okay.
curiosity, how is your thesis
Mhm.
going to be? Is it is it like a collection of different things like poems, short stories? Oh, okay, okay. Interesting.
Well, in here in the Philippines, I'm not sure if it's the same as other programs in the other countries. In the Philippines, when you're taking up your MA, you have to find your concentration. So you have to find if you're going in fiction or poetry.